low, but the maintenance cost is low. With Get integration, as you can see, the maintenance cost is higher, and trust me, it will be. Dependence, yeah?
For people listening. And I think, I'm sorry for your time, but we have to start again.
No worries.
The problem is that I don't know why I was checking on YouTube the streaming, and then suddenly the streaming was not, and I'm not sure 100% what happens, but the thing is that it happened and we were not transmitting right.
No problem.
Sorry.
For me, no problem.
Problem. It's gonna, and nobody has told us nothing. So let's gonna start again. I'm gonna introduce
from
again.
Scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna present again. Could you please look at the camera? So again, I don't know why, but we have a problem here.
Low, but the maintenance cost is low. With Get integration, as you can see, the maintenance cost is higher, and trust me, it will be. Dependence. Yeah.
I will have to edit this because we have some of the YouTube has been streamed, but only the last phrase. So anyway, sorry for this, Victor. Thank you very much for coming. We are going to start again.
Thanks for you.
Yeah, it was my fault. Today is not the... Well, I could say the reason is that I jumped from another meeting that has not... It was not a stream, it was from another meeting, and then suddenly something is not right on my system. So, thank you as always for your collaboration. Let me see, because we have some contributors saying something on the
Thanks
website.
To you. Thanks. No worries. Thanks for you too for this opportunity.
Yeah. And then you can start your testing in Flutter Plus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the ultimate masterclass of testing in Flutter. Again. Yeah, and I hope to, after this masterclass, you will be able to get a clear answers about how exactly testing works and what kind of testing you need or your app are gonna need. And this, first of all, it's me. I'm Victor Carreras. I'm mobile chapter lead at Gemini. And this is my QR code where you can make a picture and try to scan it. And there you will be able to access to my personal blog, where you can find mobile development posts where I try to discuss about interesting things, like, for example, semantic versions and other kind of interesting things that for developers, especially for mobile them. Okay, first of all, we need to understand clear types of tests that we have in Flutter and also in any technology, but I am completely focused on Flutter right now. All right. Unit tests. The unit test is the most simple test that we can do for some types of tests. Unit test you will have to do if you want to test a model, something simple, like as we will see in a while, by every model that you have inside of your app, you will want to have a unit test that you will cover the logic of that part. The confidence, as we will see, is not really high, it's not really simple, like too much, but at the end, it's something simple that you can check, for example, things like prints or like the styles of the format of the parts of the models are working properly. And this is not really too much, but it is a bit of confidence, and this is part of the simplest test that we can do. Integration tests, for me, is the most interesting part, because when you have an app with a long-term, with a really good one with more information, with like in a long time maintaining and scaling the app. You will see how parts of the app that they were working after some improvements, now it's not working as expected because you modify things that it was not completely adapted. And if we have integration test, we will be testing like how these new improvements are working with the old one, and we will be able to detect this kind of. So this is why testing across integration of one or more systems. The UI tests for me is is another really interesting part because we will be able to check like the that we have different widgets inside of the view, and we can check texts, for example, are adapting after some async thing, and it's really fine because well, we will not be able, just to clear it, and at this moment, you will not be able to check, for example, a widget is adapting perfectly for all different kind of devices or things like that. If you have in your mind these kind of tests, I want to be clear with you. There are another kind of tests called a screenshot testing, but to be honest, this is not uh, inside of this kind of testing. This is really something out of because in my experience, I have been working deeply in multiple languages with screenshot testing, and screenshot testing has a big cost, like because you will work with a device and you will stretch a picture. This is how it works behind you, just to make a picture uh, of the single device, and you will compare with the new one because you will have storage at the previous one. But in a long term, the devices will be changing. For example, iOS, if you use iOS simulator, you will be able to check how now you cannot run on your iPhone 8, for example. You have to change the device, and as soon as you update, also inside using the same device, because for any reason in a new version of the Xcode automatically change the version of the device, the version of Xcode automatically, the picture of the device will not be the same. Sometimes also presenting the same number of pixels, that the app detects the check is not matched. It's like, no, this is not the same picture. You have to record again every single screenshot test that you have. And for me, sometimes this is something painful. Like I don't want to waste time because I'm completely confident this is fine, but it is just because there is a new update and we have to record every different screenshot testing. So that is what the reason I am not talking about this topic, and I'm really glad if some of you or text or chat asking about them. I will be glad to make another little class just to talk about the screenshot testing. But if we don't, I will be focused in this masterclass just to unit test, integration test, and UI test. Manual test, this is something that we will try to avoid, because manual test is what are we doing right now? Like you make changes, run the app, test manually, like if you flow is working as you are expecting, and then make more changes and rerun again. And this is how actually it works. But we will love to have tests that we can do multiple things like this for us. So let's to compare deeper, because we will see the testing in mobile development, and I think in software development has a price, different prices that we will love and we will hate, depends on the case. For example, the confidence about our code. With using unit tests, we will feel like our confidence is really low because we are only testing just single files, we are testing single models, and we are only testing the format. And this is not really too much confidence about it. But on the other hand, when you have widget or integration tests, you will see, for example, with widget, you will have a higher confidence than unit tests, but integration is the highest confidence. But also, integration is the highest maintenance cost if you want to maintain, because as I was saying, your app will have a lot of, because this is what is expected. When you create an app, you are adding multiple parts, I don't know exactly the number, but probably more than 50% of your time is it's gonna be to add more improvements for your app because somebody else want to push further your app into the markets and another with fighting with other competitors, and that's why you will be continuously changing the integration test because you will adapting your test for these new improvements that you will be working. The widgets maintenance cost will be higher than unit tests, but it will be lower than integration. And the unit test, again, is the most easiest unit test that we can do. So that's the confidence is low, but the maintenance cost is low. So dependencies, well, to do unit tests, dependencies is really few. You don't need really too much dependencies. When you want to test widgets, you will need more dependencies than unit tests. And also integration tests will have the most dependencies for widgets. And also execution speed. Unit tests will be just the quicker. Widgets, it's also quick. Well, we will see. We will be able to add more delays, but the integration test is the slower one. So after this, now this is the repository where we will be working and we will be learning. Just let me open a new window. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open the repository. Okay, this is all right. Learning test Flutter app. This is as you can see, you will have a README with a lot where you can start with the parts of the app, the folder structure that we will see, the available tests, and well, actually this repository is auto-maintained because there is a circle, there is a continuous integration that it is automatically updating the dependencies, and also the tests are triggered automatically when the dependencies are changing. So this is something fine. So let's open the repository. There it is. I am in the master branch, and this is what we will see. If I run the app, just give me a second. Let's gonna see the app. Okay, I'm running the app. Hold on. Device manager. No, there it is. It is running the device. Okay. This is the device running. Okay. Okay. So okay, it's I am not running it. The expected device. There it is. This is the expected device. Okay. First of all, we will have, this is the app. that we have. This is a really simple one app called testing app that we will be able to run this testing sample. And in this testing sample, we are using router I create this router service. This, you can see, this is the router service, and I only have home page and favorite pages. We only have 2 different pages because this will be enough to learn testing. And as you can see, I have the models. This is the favorite model. This is the app. Okay, this is the app. Testing sample. We will have a list of colors because this is what the home page. And in home page, this is what we have. In this home page, you will have an app bar with testing sample. If you press the favorite icon, you will go to, if you press the text icon, you will see favorite pages, root name, because we will go, oh, sorry, there it is. We will go to the favorite pages, to the other one. And you will see, as you can see, this text button icon is this one. But the point is, this is a list view, and in this list view, you will have a list of home item till. This home item till, this is for every single one. As you can see, you have, well, the padding. I am using the provider, like to send the stage, because when you press one, it is the stage, and we can select different ones. For example, the red, the blue. And if we go to press favorite, automatically it is a storage memory, and automatically it is selected. For example, because when we go to favorite page, as you can see, you will have this value, and with this value of items, you will, with this list of favorites, you will present this in the favorite item till. As you can see, the same. If you can press close, and automatically, if you press, you call again to the provider to say remove it automatically, and automatically again it is removed. So it is the same scaffold message of this kind of snack bar. But at the end, this is when it is pressed the icon. So to do this, I'm using provider dependency. But let's do think like you know about this topic, and you trust me, like the app is working and it is expecting, and we are going to be focused just to do this kind of unit tests or integration tests and widget tests. Okay, first of all, we want to make unit tests. Okay, what the point is, what we can test with unit test? We can test the screens? No, because screens needs to be using widget tests. Okay, can we use router service? Well, this is not exactly a model. This is not exactly a method, function, or class. Of course, we can do to the service a unit test, but it is more something like for integration test. So, and also in this point, we just have, as you can see, a singleton, because this is just a singleton to have a shared service for routing for the whole app. Also, we have this private, and where we where we have defined our roots of the app, and we have just at this at this router. So, well, we will be able to do this. First of all, what we need. This is the point. Okay. In order to talk about code testing, we need to talk about the concept or code coverage. When we talk about coverage, coverage measures the amount uh, of the code that is analyzed during a test or set of tests. So this is very relevant because I thought we want to be as high as is possible. Keep in mind something, we will not reach 100% coverage, never, because there are a couple of things that you will not be able, for example, async things. Keep in mind, like you have an app with network layer. If your tests will not be able to depend of the network or any async things, because this is not handleable, because sometimes you isolate your code in some parts, or you will want to work in a CI, and you cannot depend if your tests will pass or not pass only if your service is working or down, and this is something wrong. Your tests have to be out self-working by their own. You will not have to make it works with and depending of another services, because the confidence will be down with the confidence of your code, your tests. You have to be 100% of the answer of your tests. So that's why this is a really good one question, because sometimes when I am testing other developers and I have to check their knowledge of about testing, this is a challenge, like to know like what is your coverage that you usually works or you usually do in your tests, and you will never expect to hear 100% because this reason. So in general, a well-tested application has many unit and widget tests controlled by code coverage, plus enough integration tests to cover all important use cases. Each of three categories of testing we have seen has advantages and disadvantages, like we showed before. So, as we saw, adding the items to favorite, we will be able to do it in this app, viewing the list of favorites and removing items from the favorite list. So, as we will see, there are concept model like called favorites, and this is what we will be able to test. First of all, we will test favorite items. Favorite items extends this change notifier in order to notify if this list change. As you can see, we have an add method to add a new item, like we have in the colors, and when it is added, we notify other listeners, and we do the same with the remove one. We can remove other and notify listeners. So let's see. Integration. Okay, unit tests. Let's see what we need to make this works. Okay, to make this works, we need a package called test. Test, it is, as you can see, it is this one, test. If we go to the web page and we go to test path dev, we will see this is test. As you can see, you have multiple information about how to provide a way to create and test other, and also this is published by dart.dev, and it is possible to run by any platform, and you will see how to do this. Okay, first of all, inside of our tests, we will have to create a void main method. Why? Because every single test file, first of all, you will have every single project. Like if you create a new project, you will have a test folder. And if you don't, you can create it, because sometimes maybe you will destroy it. No worries, don't worry, because you will be able to create a new one, call it test. Also, it is a good it's a good practice if you create your files inside of test folder with finalizing with test, to be saying this is a test. Okay, all right. Going back, inside of your tests, we want to create a group of. Why we want to create a group? Well, because you can make related tests. For example, testing app provider. All of these tests, every single test, this is a group with 2 different tests. So my unit test for the model favorite has a main method with a single group. This single group will share favorite. This favorite is shared by this add new item and this remove item. And also, for example, we have add a new test, and after, for example, I'm gonna run this test, and we will see like there are 2 tests passed, and as you can see, this is the number of the file, favorite test. Don't forget, favorite test. The number of the group as a child, testing a provider. And inside of this child, there are 2 children. A new item should be added, and an item should be removed. But how it works every single test? Okay, every single test have to have a name, as you can see, the description always is a string, and also a body with dynamic function that it is expected. This is the dynamic function that it is expected. Inside of it have to be this body, have to describe the expected results that we expect to have. Like, right? Like, for example, in this case, we create this number 35. We add this number inside of the favorite, and we expected contains inside of favorites items. Don't forget, because inside the favorite we have a list of called items. Favorite.items contains this number. We expected this is true. And it is expected, it works, and an item should be removed. For example, bad number 45 in the same favorite. At this point, we expected favorite has 35 because nobody destroyed it. So we would be, for example, expected contains number 45. This is true. Remove it number, and we don't expect it to have this. And also, for example, we could expect it like favorites dot items dot length should be 1, and we expected this true. We can test only this single test pressing this, or we can press there and press the full list of this file. And looks, what do you think just happened? Okay, what it's happened is because I just press this. Every time the memory is recreated every time that I press. So if I skip this test, this new test will not work because I have created a test really accoupled. This is not isolate. And this is something that we should or we expected if we have certain seniority about this topic. This is not fully fine. This is okay, it's fine, but um, remember when we started talking about testing, we don't want to depend our test for other services or other parts of the app. And actually, this is what we are doing. If you run the list of tests, this works. But if I run isolate this test, it will not work because this will be skipped. And it run the group, but this will be skipped and this will be executed. And this is not fine for me. So I'm gonna discard this change. Also, we can run the test with coverage. This is something cool because we will be able to understand the number of line that we are testing. And we will be able to check, for example, this our favorite, the coverages is fully because we are testing, our tests are triggering the full lines of the app, and this is what it is saying. For example, inside of our iOS project, we are we can see the number of lines covered, and it is fine. But at the end, let's see. Let's make another run test, the full list of tests with coverage. Now this is, I am more agree with it. Like, because we are testing just only some parts of the app and we are not testing the full lines covered. So let's go and let's to see our next one kind of tests. Because as we saw, this is something simple. Don't forget, by every single file, I'm gonna discard because this is the info that the coverage file that we are using, and that's why I'm seeing this. But in any case, I want to explain my favorite file. You should have a single file test. Like favorites model, I have a favorite test. If I have, I don't know, person model, I have a person test. Things like that. That's why I prefer to add a unit folder to have the full number of files for unit tests. Okay, integration test. Integration test, as you see, well, we have again a group. But as you can see, we are not, if you remember, we were using test package. But in this integration test, we are not using test package. We are using the Flutter test. Okay, what is Flutter test? Flutter test is used in widget testing and UI testing. But let's have a look together. Okay, let's search it together. Flutter test. Okay, Flutter test library. Testing library for Flutter built on top of package test. The testing library is post a few constructors, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what the point here? The point here is, the point here is now we have a new kind of tests. If you remember, when we have this kind of, we have a test, single test, but now if we want to make a widget test, we will have to use this new declaration. It's something similar, but if you remember, we were passing the same first parameter with a string of the name. But now you have a new parameter called tester. What is tester? Because don't forget, we didn't have it in unit test. Okay, and also this is async. It is, because now we will see why we need this tester. Okay, in this with tester, we will prepare the app. We are waiting for pump widget. Pump widget renders the UI from a given widget. So we are rendering the testing app. Who is testing app? Okay, testing app is our app that we have inside of the main.dart file. As you can see, we are not. Can you see my red line? This red line means this is not covered. This is your main is not covered, because I was saying we don't want to have 100% line coverage, because as far as your app grow up, you will see, as far as your app make it bigger, you will see how this number of lines covered will be decreased. Not too much, just a bit, but you will see how it's decreasing, because there are a couple parts of the app that you will not be able. So coming back, we are rendering our testing app. We are having icon keys, icon 0, icon 1, and icon 2. This is the icon keys. And for every icon in every string of this icon key, you will tap your. But how are we tapping the app? Okay, first of all, we have a new find method that you can use. Find, some frequently use it to find something inside of your tree of widgets. By key, you will find this value key. What is by icon 0, icon 1, icon 2. And you are using pump and settle. What is pump up settles? Repeatedly called pump with the given duration. So it will be called after a second. After a second, it will be, we will execute something, because we will be awaited. So you will await for, first of all, find your by key this icon 0, press it, because don't forget, because maybe this is something that we need to review, but maybe you will are thinking, but this is icon 0, where did this came from, this icon 0? Okay, this icon 0, this is loaded. Because when you create your app, don't forget you have your favorites. This is what you can do, but in the home page, yes, you will have your string of icons, favorite border with the label, the items count, but you will have 100 items. And this home item tile will be inside of this index. And when you press it, you will have, look, this icon underscore and the item number. So this item number is generated by this item count from 0 to 99. So coming back to our icon 0, icon 1, icon 2 is the first 3 icons of our list. So after a second tapping this, we expected to find this text, because if you remember, our app. This is, well, because we have a coverage page. There it is. If you remember, when you press added item to favorite, do you remember added to favorite text? And something interesting, because if you remember when we were doing unit tests, you was expecting something true or something false, but this is not the only thing that expect can use, because the spect is dynamic actual, dynamic major. So this is something that there are a lot of things that we can put there. Actually, I'm gonna show you a couple of them. I'm gonna talk to you. Okay. Things one widget means to search result must be one and only one. So it is not expected to have this text founded twice or more than one, because looks things one just expect to have only one. But this is not the only thing that we can do, because there are other things exactly and not a specific number. Things at least and a specific number, but this is at least, probably more. Things any, like one or more, of things nothing when you want to find it to not find anything. Like, for example, coming back to the unit test, we could find inside of this favorite, and the expected is any, but well, I want to be focused now with integration test. After, tap again to favorites, because don't forget this text favorites is this text favorites. Pump and settle, and this is the remove icon, and it is pressed again by remove icon. The expected is finds one widget with this. Also, we could add more, like for example, if we remove, because this is something for every. So after this second for, we can expect to find any this kind of, for example, in favorite we expect an empty list, like for example, like this, we expected to have a favorite, an empty list of favorite. So for example, maybe we can detect, like because item 16 or item or whatever, we can say we can find there is no any other items inside of. But thinking, keep in mind this text is matched like find text, editable text, and optionally text rich text widget contains a string equals. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. So well, as I was saying, we won't be able, for example, expect find.text containing, because this is something interesting, containing item. For example, item, whatever, item, and we expect, as you remember, we have things nothing. Things nothing. You don't expect to find any item in this remove icon. Let's to see. Okay, and as you can see, it is not founding because we add 3, we remove 3. So this is why we don't find anything. And this is the latest one. So let's just have a look about widgets. Just like for example, home widget. Well, in this home, as you can see, we are using Flutter test again because Flutter test is used for UI testing. So in this integration test, we are using widget. Maybe you think this app test is not an integration, it's a widget test, but it is not because we are not testing parts of the app. We are not testing parts of the screen, like if you can see text, or if you are testing functionalities. You are testing, like when we make this integration test, we testing when you add icons, then you move to favorite and you can see the items there. And if you remove them, you will not find those. So you are testing how the app is working as integration. Meantime, in our widget test, as you will see, this is not exactly what we have. Actually, we have, first of all, well, in this case, this smoke test. In this smoke test, we are doing an integration, like testing up, but now you only expect find by type. You're expecting when you run the app to find this list view, and by type, because we are not finding text as we were doing before. We are expecting, sorry, because I am the unit test. You are finding text, but this is not the only thing that you can find, because as you remember, this is dynamic. And as dynamic, you are able to test things like, for example, type. And you are finding by type, the type list view. This is a type, a class. And this is what you are doing. You are finding this, and you expect to find one. And for example, you are testing the scroll. Like, for example, create home screen, because this create home screen is creating this material app with homepage, because we are testing don't forget, we are testing homepage, and we are not adding the full app. We will test just the widget that you want out. Like you don't care the rest of the app. That's why you are not adding or creating your testing app. No, you are not testing app. You are testing only your homepage. And as homepage, this is what you have. You are testing your list view, you are testing your scroll. Because when you render, don't forget, every single test widget have to render the widget that you need or that you want. And you are testing that you have your item 0. Also, for example, we would be able to test, like you have, for example, expect find text containing item, and how many times exactly a number. How many times? 100. For example, we expect, I forgot the X one. And if we run this, we don't care because we can run just only this one. We will be able, oh, looks, the scroll is not working. Why the scroll is not working? Well, the scroll is not working because because testing scrolling is not passing, okay? Why is not passing? Because expected exactly 10 matchings, but only found 8 widgets. And why? because the device, because it is not using the full list, because we are finding inside of a list view, and inside of a list view, you will use only the number that we want. Maybe you think like, okay, let's to have this find exactly number of elements that we have. For example, in this case, 100. But you are not using this. You are not, because you are rendering and finding by type, by your list view. And inside of this list view, you don't have 100 rendered cells. No, you only have 8, and you will share when you are scrolling. This cell is out of here, coming back from the bottom and reloading again. So that's why it is not working exactly, find exactly, because find exactly only detects until text 7 from 0, so 8 widgets containing this. Because this is the optimization. This is how natively works too. So in native Android and iOS works exactly like this. They don't render 100 cells because this is not a really good one performance decision. Okay, this tester flying is modifying as you can see, this is how you are saying this flying is a gesture starting from the center to the given. And we are doing, yes, this gesture offset from 0 to less 200 in order to make this scroll. And expect don't find item 0. And this is right, because after this, you will make a scroll like I'm doing, and I don't have, if I make this kind of scroll, I don't see item 0, and probably item 1 either. And something interesting is test widget, because we are going to test icon. Again, with this tester parameter, we will render again the screen, and we expect find an icon by icon. By icon, you can find favorite, and you don't expect to find any this kind of favorite because you use favorite border. Favorite border is when you are not selected, but when you tap the again and wait for a second, and then you will find this added to favorite, and you expect to find one widget with this text. Also, you expect to find widgets with this favorite, now like bold of love icon. And tap find by icon first, looks, because you will have a list of icon, and you will tap the first, and after a duration, it will be removed, because it will be like this, and it will be removed, and you don't expect to find any other icon like we were talking. So don't forget, finds one widget, search, the results must be one and only one widget. Finds widget, the search results must be at least one. Finds nothing, the search results should not have found any matching widget. And found exactly, search result must be exactly a specific number. And also, you can find by text contain, because text should be exactly equal. Contains just be contained, but could be bigger. By icon, you can search for an icon, and by type, you can search objects by type. For me, that's all. This is. I hope to give you a brief introduction about Flutter testing. Also, don't forget to keep in mind this repository that you will be able to review the code, review the parts that sometimes you can use it like an example to copy parts of your unit test. Don't forget, if you like it, to press to give a star if you don't mind, or if you love it. And I hope to clarify on multiple parts of the testing of the app. So that's all. Did you like it, Andrew? I was asking you if you like it. Did you like it, Andrew?
Sure, I've been viewing you all the time. So maybe this training is a little bit deep for the guys who are on with the community, but at least it is important that they start to take care that there are some more specific deep.
Also, they can give it, because the point here is you have the repository, you have the video, you can come back whenever you need.
Yeah.
Like, because probably in a long time they are going to forget multiple parts, but they will have the repository to come back to review. Okay, what Victor did.
This is the most important thing in the sense that we have these contents on our website and it's valid now. So I wanted, could you please? I'm going to share the screen. Let me see if I am able to share the screen. Yes, because I wanted just to remind before closing. Stop presenting your screen, please.
Your screen is still visible. Okay. Okay. Stop. Thanks.
Yeah, right. So. I wanted to thank you again for your time, to taking your time for training.
For you the opportunity. I'm really happy to be here.
And the question is that I wanted to remind to the people that is seeing us live and the people that will be seeing us later in YouTube, that we have just changed the date for the third community meeting. It's going to be on December 24th. That in Spain at least is something. It's a very special day. But we moved that the hour to 12 in the morning, 12 in the midday, just midday, for not going into too much into the festivities, Christmas festivities. Maybe for the or Indian community will be a good time, but for our Canadian or American or Brazil contributors will be, I mean, a bit early, but. The thing is that we changed the date from 30 to 24 because there is plenty of people all contacting us. I will say dozens of persons, Flutter contributors contacting us, and they all have the same trouble, the same question. So we're gonna advance this meeting and try to give them all the questions that they can have about what is our agenda for now and for the winter. And what is going on coming in 2024, and of course, Gold Summer of Code. So again, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you for your help, and we are leaving now this. Bye-bye.
Bye.